Yeah, my name is Virgil. Together with Ola, we are responsible for the startup arena at Automatica. Ola is the project manager, and I'm the exhibitor relations manager, meaning that you can always count on me with questions at the fair, before the fair, after the fair. So today, this webinar is actually just for all exhibitors. So welcome. And I think, Ola, if you want to present a little bit of key facts.
Yeah, so I'm sure you already know that, but this year Automatica is focused on the four main Automatica is focused on the four main topics. That's digitalization of AI, that's sustainable production, and photonics innovation and future of work. And thus we're going to be reflecting that also on Startup Arena. And thus we're going to see where we're going to try to see where your solution fits best and give you the proper presence at that stage and also in our communication in order to just get your brand visibility as we can. I know that also in the application for you were supposed to tick which one is sort of the best fitting, but later on, once we're going to be working on the agenda, we're going to be getting closer to that topic. Nevertheless, yeah, Startup Arena is there to help manufacturers get into the Industry 4.0 or showcase the latest of the automation and robotics in manufacturing. And you all know that there's plenty of visitors coming in. We're going to be also making our special effort, and I'll tell a bit more about that during the agenda part. On like how to make sure that we're getting a lot of visitors coming to your stands. I know many of you are not only interested in getting investment, but also potentially securing some deals. And thus we're working already with mentioned in order to make sure that there's a lot of traffic and the traffic that you actually need coming to those stands. You're going to be one of 600 exhibitors at Automatica, and we'll be really happy if you showcase that as well. That will also again help us brand the event and get more interesting visitors coming in. And the area is huge. For those of you who have been there, we're going to be in the same in B4 hall, which is the same that we've been last year, but there are changes in terms of there will be much more things, much more happening inside of our hall, and thus we hope that's going to be resulting in more traffic. At the same time, for those who haven't been at Automatica, there's many different halls, and we're going to be in the hall for B4. And something to remember is it takes around half an hour to get from the entrance to the to our stand or to our location. So have that in mind while planning your visits. Moving on. This is what is in your package. This is what you've signed up for. So I'm just going to go through each of it very briefly so we're on the same page. Each of you definitely is going to get a 4 square meter booth with 2 complimentary exhibitor passes. And these exhibitor passes are allowing you to enter the day before, as well as from, I think, 8 again. We'll confirm that and let you know for sure. But before the fair starts and after the fair, and you can enter and leave after the fair finishes, whereas you can all generate as many as you want. One day guest passes and give it away to anyone you know, and these people are going to be able to enter during the opening hours of the fair. And we really encourage you. We're going to be giving away plenty of them as well through our channels, but we also really encourage you to announce that you're an exhibitor and encourage your network to come, because obviously the more visitors are going to come to Startup Arena, the more people are going to hear about it, the better it is for all of us. If you have questions on how to get that, how to generate those passes, we will send you a manual of like how to do that, but it's rather easy. You just have to click that you want it and you have it. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Then we're going to have this year, so for those of you who've been last year at Automatica Startup Arena, we didn't have a particular section for demonstration. Later on, we sort of made it out in front of the main avenue, but this year we have changes in design, and so there will be a demonstration area and a networking area. So for those of you who have a bigger equipment to showcase. We already have received, I think, 3 this morning. I was checking 3 questionnaires filled in with your equipment, but we'll ask all of you to make sure that should you need more space than what's within the stand, you let us know, and then we'll, on one hand, secure your place in that demonstration area. Secondly, also try to allocate you nearby this demonstration area so you can have access to your device at any time. And then we also have 2 pitches, 2 pitching competitions. One is the Photonica that's happening on day 2. It's focused on photonics, and then the second one is Odense Investor Summit, which is focused on automation and robotics. And you're all welcome to apply for them if you haven't done that yet, even though you submitted already your application. This is something you can edit and just add that section of the application if you would like to be included into those pitching competitions. We're going to have also networking events, where there will be one actually on Thursday after the Odense Investor Summit. There will be a short networking gathering with some beers and snacks. We're still discussing now with Messe München whether there will be a chance to bring some C-level visitors from other areas of Automatica to join us for that networking on Thursday. But also since you're exhibitors, you also have the ticket to enter the general networking that, as far as I know, is happening on Tuesday, but I'll confirm that once with you and let you know about it once we have it confirmed from Messe München. And then also, well, I was already mentioning we're going to be showcasing, we're going to try our best to showcase you at the stage. And once we'll talk about the agenda, you will be able to see what are the options for you should you be interested in showcasing your solution on the stage to sign up for. And lastly, the media exposure. So as said, we would love to give you more exposure. For that, we would need you to sort of initiate it. So the moment you, for instance, announce that you're an exhibitor at Automatica and tag us, then we're going to share it on our social media, and we're also going to have a campaign showcasing you shortly before the event to showcase who are the exhibitors of Startup Arena and why is it important for the visitors, the local visitors from Munich to come and see what you have there, as well as we're going to have a photographer, we're going to have a videographer present for a few hours during the Startup Arena, and we're going to be taking short interviews with some of you. And that's again something you can later on opt in, and then we're going to be selecting the profiles for that together with Messe München. I think this is it for this slide. Do you guys have any questions? And we can go back for a second. Can see any hands risen. So that means we can maybe move on to the logistics, and then you can also see how it actually is going to look like, at least in a render.
Yes, I hope you all can see my screen. The booth, as previously said, is around 4 square meters. And if you see here on the upper right corner, there is a render of an island with 4 booths. Down in the lower part, you can see some renders how the area would look like. And also on the left side, you can see we'll have another slide where you'll get a much more detailed view. But here in the left side, you can see the coffee bar, the lounge area, and also some part of the stage. Let me just quickly go to the other slide. So here on the upper left side, you can see how this is divided. All this area from here to here is ours. So we will have 2 main traffic lanes, this one and this one here, and also a smaller traffic lane just before the coffee shop. So basically, we wanted from Messe Munich to have these wider spaces in order to have more traffic. And I know that some of you have gear that you want to be displayed, so this gives you a better margin in terms of area and space. Here in the middle, the white cubicles, this is the demonstration area as far as I remember, right, Ola?
That is correct, yes.
Yes. This is the stage. And here, like I said, is the lounge, and here is the networking area. So we think this here on the right, you can see it from a bird's eye view. This year we wanted to have, to not be so crowded. So maybe if you have some questions here.
If I may, there's
Yeah.
2 more important things. If you have a look at this bird eye view, so on the side, so last year, for those of you who have, maybe I can do a quick poll. How many of you, I know that Rishi wasn't there, but Lena and Thomas, have you been last year at Automatica?
No, this is our first year this
Okay.
year to join you.
I see. And Lena, have you been maybe?
We've been, like my colleagues have been to Automatica last year, yes. They did.
Okay. Yes. So last year we had an empty space there next to the sorry, when you look at the stage, then that will be on the right, right? This year we're going to have quite interesting exhibition there, and that's going to be a tech mashup where there will be basically a big area with many robots trying to connect and trying to communicate together. So there will be a particular efforts conducted in order to get visitors to see the robots, right? And therefore that also gives us a bit better chances to capture visitors and have many people visiting the stands. On the next to the coffee shop on the well, now right, but yeah, so this area here, yes, thank you, Virgil. So in here, we're going to have the HR corner, so to say, with VDI Nachrichten, and they are going to have some consultation for the potential job seekers. So again, quite of a interesting offering for the visitors, and thus potentially more traffic coming in. And above them it's going to be the above them is going to be DLR, which is also a robotic association. And so basically we're surrounded from each side with very interesting program, which again gives us a higher chances to capture the visitors and to have a lot of traffic this year at our stands. So that's what I wanted to say. Do you guys have any questions by any chance?
Yes, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
You mentioned the demonstration area, and we are thinking about bringing our like small robot And in the form you sent us, I think there was the question about the robot, and then there was the question about measurements, and like there was no possibility to fill in the measurements. It was
Yeah.
just the options yes or no.
Yeah. That's our
but
technical glitch. Yeah, we can fill it in again if that's okay for you.
I just wanted to mention that like our robot is quite small. So should we book, or should we tell you to that we need space and time in the demonstration area, or what's the criteria for demonstration area, or if we can just like leave it on the booth?
Yes, so it really is up to you. So like, I mean, because let's say the question is what you would like to showcase with this robot. I mean, the robot could be small, but if you want to showcase how mobile it is, then you want to have more space to showcase it, right? Let's say, I don't know, the example straight from my head is Roomba, right? It's a small robot, but you want to showcase people how far it can go and what it can do. But then there are static robots that you might not necessarily want to have in a demonstration area. You would rather have it at your stand. So Virgil, if you could go back to one slide and you'll see this land, because there is this podium here and you have your table. And if you feel that this is the easiest for you to just put your robot on that table or the podium, then that's fine by us too. So it's just really, if you could let us know whether you would like to showcase, even though it's a small robot, would you like to showcase the mobility of it? Then we can arrange it. But if you feel like I'd rather have it next to me so that every visitor that's passing by next to my stand can see them, so can see it, then that's also fine by me.
I think the question also here was, are they flexible to use the demonstration area anytime they want, or do they need to pre-register for time slots in order to go and demonstrate?
Correct. So in this case, we're just going to see what's the demand, and whether we can just allow at any time everyone to use the area. Again, it would just depends on how mobile are the robots, whether they can communicate with the same language, or there's a chance of them clashing, right? So we will be able to only tell you about the schedule, should there be any, for the demonstration area, once we have all the exhibitors confirmed, and once we have their requirements, and then we're going to make the most out of our resources.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I think that was the answer I was looking for. Probably it's also possible to arrange some demonstration on short notice, because I think we would love to present the robot on the booth, but also probably if there is a chance to that it can move around in some area, that's fine for us, or we would love to do that as well. So probably you can already register us as a possible demonstrator in the demonstration area.
Fantastic. In general, I would just say that like bringing robots is a very good choice, and then visitors are really interested in that. So I think you definitely should bring all sorts of equipment that you can showcase, and then we'll try our best to give you as much time as possible to showcase.
Yeah, great. Just another question. As far as I remember, there are 2 tickets for like company representatives included. Is that right?
So you get 2 exhibitor passes. And
yeah.
And the difference between the exhibitor pass and the guest pass that you can generate for your team is that, if you have the exhibitor pass, you can enter the day before, and I think 2 hours before the fair starts, and you can stay and leave I think 2 or 3 hours after the the exhibition closes, right? But first of all, if you but if in the case, let's say you have 3 or 4 people coming, so what I suggest doing is just issue the rest of the team a daily passes and have them use those. Also, practically, it's a QR code that you'll have on your phone. So let's say if you would like to switch with someone halfway through, I understand that it's 4 days event. Maybe you would like to have few people, 2 people mainly responsible for say Tuesday and Wednesday, and 2 others for Thursday and Friday. Then you can just pass them the code and it's going to work because they just, you just scan it and you go. Is that helpful? Is that answering your question?
Yes, indeed. I was just wondering because when one of my colleagues, myself, I won't be attending the exhibition. I was just wondering if one of my colleagues was with the robot in the demonstration area, then the other colleague is alone on the booth. So probably it would be helpful to bring probably even 3 people to the exhibition, but I think we'll manage with 2 as well. So, and yeah, for sure, there's always the option to create this guest passes.
Exactly.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the only difference is that you cannot enter at the before the session, but you can organize that, and practically really no one checks if it's actually yours or your colleague's pass in terms of the QR code. So if, let's say, I know that last year some teams were switching halfway through and they would just give the codes to the other, or to give the badge to another person, and then for the other days someone else was taking the badge.
Yeah, thanks. That's good news.
Thank you. Any other questions? Maybe Thomas, maybe Rishi, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good so far, Lena. Yeah, that were the right questions, also the same that I would ask. So thanks a lot.
Okay, no, I think maybe we can move on. So yeah, in case you guys haven't done that yet, or because of that glitch that we had at the very, very beginning, I think you guys, Lena, you were the first people that were filling in the form, and I haven't yet switched all the questions. So you can fill this form and give us an information about your equipment, should you want to showcase any.
Also, you'll have this QR code in form of a PDF you can download directly from the meeting. So if you need it later, or you can write me an email and I can send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In terms of communication support, as Ola mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, we are more than happy to disseminate you as an exhibitor in our network. The only thing is that you should tag us in all your communication. I think I sent to most of you already the communication toolkit as an attachment in an email, and you can use that one-to-one to post in your social media or newsletter or whatever ways of communicating you have in your network, but just make sure you tag us. This is one important aspect because we are not gonna look every day on your profiles to see if you posted something. Is virtually impossible for us. So this is the way we can help you with that. And if I go here, you see we have a media exposure we have our network of 550K leads and members in our communities. We have 20K mail subscribers, 50K on social media, and we can help you with being more visible. So just tag us along and we will make sure we repost or reshare. So yes, Lena?
Just a question regarding timing. I mean, I think it's at least 9 weeks to go, I guess, roughly. So when do you recommend to starting posting about it? I mean, I think we won't plan a posting before mid-May, I guess. Or would you recommend to post more or less, or in what time frame? Do you have any experience in that?
Mhm. So I would suggest announcing that you're an exhibitor even now, as soon as it is confirmed, right? Which is now. And then make another wave of communication. So for instance, remember you can generate those tickets, right? So the daily passes. So what I would suggest doing is like now announce that you're going to be there. And then somehow early June, offer your followers, your network, the passes. And so do another wave of communication saying that, you know, guys, we have this passes to give away. Let us know that you're coming to Automatica. We're going to be at this booth, and here, you know, ping me for a pass, right? Or something like around those lines. But I would suggest to not only give them a notice, like in a way to start this conversation a bit earlier, because especially if you have someone who's not necessarily, you know, within the Munich area, then they might need to plan a bit in advance coming.
Yeah, great, thank you.
It also depends on the dynamic of your company and how you used to market yourself. So, but as Ola said, I think the sooner the better. I mean, the graphic on the right you can already use because you are an exhibitor, so you can already start posting. And in the next 2 months or 1.5 months, you can divide your social media or dissemination campaigns, however you like. You know what best functions for you. So, but in the end, the key aspect is the sooner the better.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing is that, let's say, and so you post, and then you would probably like us to post to repost that, right? So, and then hopefully Messe Mention with Automatica account could also repost that. And we're talking with them about that too. And so we need some lead time in order for everyone, all the partners to actually react. So that's why, like, if you, let's say, post, let's say 2 weeks before, it might be a bit too short notice for all the potential amplifiers to get on you.
A good practice, what we use is that when we post something on LinkedIn, for example, we tend to tag everyone that is somehow involved in all the partners, all the ambassadors, everyone that could be a potential help to make us visible. So I suggest to do that also. If you post, just tag along the people or disseminators you know will multiply your exposure. Okay, do you guys have any more questions? I just wanted to say, if I forgot to send you the communication toolkit, I don't think I forgot, but if I forgot, just drop me an email and I will send it to you. But I know for sure I sent it like this week, but just drop me an email if I forgot.
Yeah, I've received it. So
Okay.
it was in a general mail. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Any more questions here? All right.
Let's go. Okay, so then now we're moving towards the agenda. So we're still negotiating with few partners, but I wanted to give you just a gist of what's going to be happening there, because we think that it really could be quite impactful in the way how you're going to be communicating what's happening through your channels, as well as securing some kind of spot for yourself on the stage, right? So on the first day, we're going to have partners day and just rather opening. Also, the first day, we'll see if we could get at least a few exhibitors on the stage. If not, we're going to be maybe doing a round of introduction, walking together from one stand to another to figure out what's happening with potentially some media and amplifiers. But the first day is mainly about introduction and about the impact of deep tech on manufacturing. very broad topic. Then the second day, we're going to be focusing on the photonics, and it's going to be mainly about those of you who are focused or who are using photonics in your solution. And we're going to have Photonica in the second. Our main partner is going to be the Photon Hub Europe. It's the program that helps photonic startups to get investment. And so in case you guys could potentially apply for that, we really recommend that, because that definitely secures you then a place on stage during the Photonica, which is the pitching competition. Then on the next day, we're going to be focusing on robotic and automation, and we're going to have the Odense Seed and Venture organizing the Odense Investor Summit. So here, again, if you haven't applied yet and you wish to do so, you can still do that by filling in the remaining part of the application. And in case, by the way, if you decide to edit your application and add either Photonica or Odense Investor Summit or both, because that's also fine, and you're welcome to participate in both. Please let us know so that because system doesn't necessarily show us that you have updated after you've submitted. So just for us to make sure that nothing is missed, let us know whether you decided to opt in for additional pitching competitions. And so so here we're going to be focusing on the robotics and automation, and where yesterday we talked with Nessa mentioned, they're going to try to bring the C-level visitors who are going to, so they are going to organize some sort of a tour among various halls, and once they come to B4, they will visit us, and they potentially could be a really good group of potential clients. So that most probably is going to happen on Thursday, and we're going to have a short networking and some drinks, as I said, to sort of celebrate the almost conclusion of Automatica, but not finishing yet, because actually the last day is also really quite interesting, as we're going to be focusing on the startup support to digitalization of SMEs and traditional manufacturers. So here we're going to team up with Restart SMEs, another European initiative that is sort of trying to connect the service providers, the startups with great idea for digitalization with more traditional manufacturers, and with them we're going to be making a special effort to get traditional manufacturers from the area of Munich to come and join us on Startup Arena that day, so that you guys will be able to showcase your solution with that lens of how would this help your business. And so we especially think that this could result in some really good contacts and some really powerful connections, right? And we're going to give a lot of time on the stage that day. We're also going to be, we're now hiring, we're in the process of hiring some of the quite well-known speakers among the traditional SMEs, traditional producers within the area, to bring them into Startup Arena. So once this falls through, we're going to be letting you know whether you will be interested in participating in the last day and showcasing your solution towards the audience of traditional manufacturers. And then you can sign up for the slot and showcase your solution. Do you guys have any questions right now? I can't hear, so I think we can move on. If you still have any questions, you can always email us. But here is the timeline of what's going to happen soon, or what we wish you to do in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, starting with what Virgil was saying, announce that you're an exhibitor. If you need any help with that, let us know. We can provide you with further support. Secondly, as I was saying, consider applying for Photonica and non-DESA Investor Summit, ideally before 5th of May, because that's when the call is finishing, and that's where we basically will be able to gather and process all the applications for those 2 pitching competitions. The reason behind it is because also we have limited number of time, and thus we spots for those competitions. So so if you apply within the timeline of 5th, then it is just easier to secure your spot. Then by 8th, the week of 8th, we're going to provide you with your placement, your exact placement. The reason why we're waiting till then is because on 5th we close the call, and so then we're going to know exactly how many booths we're going to have, and from that will come the allocation. That will also, at the same time, since you guys have already confirmed you're present with Automatica and with us, you're going to get preferential placement. It's just the exact numbers are going to come once we know how many booths we're going to have altogether. And then within the week of 16th of May, we're going to reach out to you with the exact offer of what's going to happen on this day, when the last day when we're going to be reaching out to traditional manufacturers, and we're going to tell you how many slots are there, and how much time would you have on the stage should you be interested in showcasing your solution in that sense. We also are going to prepare the brochure that will send it to you for validation. It's really quite important for us that you're going to have a look and approve everything, because we're going to be we're going to be printing that. And so after the design is approved, we cannot obviously make changes, since it's a physical material. So please have that in mind and follow that deadline. It's quite important to us to ensure that everyone has the present they really want. And and then start giving away your daily passes to your network to make sure that we have as many visitors as we can. And ensure your best self at the event. It's a 4-day event, quite long. Make sure that you stretch out, like you plan your HR and who's going to be at the booth on which day. Since we're going to have the special push on the last day, we're actually expecting quite many visitors also on the last day, especially from the Munich area. It's just a bit easier for them to leave on a Friday than let's say Tuesday, and therefore do have that in mind, that it's quite important to be fresh and be your best self at any day. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes, Lena.
So I was muted. I'm sorry. I have a question regarding point 4, the showcasing of the for the solution. What form do you have in mind? Like, is it a simple pitch on stage, or is it any other form of showcasing? What would you need to prepare? That's what I want to know.
Sure. Yeah, we're thinking the best would be just to give you the stage. Well, in general, we're trying not to frame it too much. It's just the reason why we're mentioning is just not a really typical pitch, let's say, for the investors, because we're going to be meeting investors that day. This is the day focused on potential clients, and we're giving you a bit more context that they are traditional manufacturers looking for solutions to digitalize. But how do you present this? That is up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, later on, we're also going to know exactly, once we have the agenda approved by Mr. Minchin, we're going to know exactly how much time is there for this presentation. And that also is going to be that's why I'm only, we're going to get back to you on that on the week of 16, because I understand it's very different if you're supposed to prepare the presentation for 5 minutes, whereas for 10 minutes, right? So this is something we're going to be feeding you with.
I think this was the last slide. Actually, now is the time for Q&A. So ask us anything.
Yeah, actually me again. Not with a question, but with a remark. Since Thomas is also in this call, in this webinar, I just wanted to mention again. I mean, he mentioned it, we mentioned it in our application, but we are actually, like his company and mine are partnering in some projects. So it would be really helpful if we have the booths next to each other. Is that possible in any way?
Totally. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't recognize you guys. But yes, we know about that, and we were going to do our. The only reason why it wouldn't be optimal would be because of your demonstration, but I don't expect that to be a difficulty at all.
That's good news. Thanks so much.
No problem. No problem. And Thomas?
Yeah, thanks a lot also from my side. That was would be one of my questions also.
Okay, well then, Rishi, do you have anything that you would like to clarify?
No, thank you so much. So I guess I got all the information. If there is anything, I'll trouble Virgil again. But thank you for taking all that effort, and looks really smooth to me.
Fantastic. Just a few more maybe remarks. So I understand that Lena and Thomas, you're rather from the nearby places, so you don't necessarily need accommodation. But Rishi, in case you do need accommodation in Munich, then Messe München has some special deals with certain hotels. So you can check on the website. On their website, there are the links to the hotels that they have. They offer some discounts. Then also regarding your equipment, there will be, if you would like to leave something throughout the night, it's completely fine. There will be security provided throughout the whole fair, actually starting on the day before. So let's say, should you want to come on Monday to set up, because again, that's just what you want to do, then you, with those exhibitor passes, you can do that, and you can leave from that day onwards. You could leave your equipment, and there will be security in the hall. Hence, only people with exhibitor passes can actually enter. And then also, in case you would like to send some stuff to Messe München on the website, but I think we also have mentioned that in the emails, there are two main providers that they work with for delivering materials beforehand, whereas during the fair you can deliver with any provider. And there will be also a clock room for your staff, should you want to leave something, some of your luggage or whatever stuff inside. We're going to have a dedicated clock room for Startup Arena. And I suppose this is all from the logistical support.
We are trying to also provide you with a list of contacts. We are working on that, so you will have phone numbers or email or whatever. Also responsible for the in the fair, from Automatica. So we are working on getting the names and lists. So if there are issues, I am there, but maybe some issues with logistics or maybe with the warehouse or so I'm working on that, and we will provide that list as soon as we have it also.
Yeah, well, yes, Lena?
Okay, me again. So it would be recommended to arrive already on Monday. We are not from close Manic area,
Sorry.
but it would be recommended to arrive on Monday afternoon, evening, to bring all the stuff to the booth, and then because it starts quite early on Tuesday. Am I right?
Correct. So again, that I don't know how far is it for you. Like for me, it's impossible to be there in the morning if I don't arrive the night before. You know, if I could give you my piece of advice, I would rather be there the day before. I always do that for every event that I'm attending, especially if we have a booth or we're responsible for something. We're actually arriving with Virgil on Sunday, so that the whole day of Monday we're available there for you guys to solve any sort of issues that could arise, but mainly just to relax and have some pretzels and beer. But in case there will be any problems, we're going to be troubleshooting. So just for peace of mind, I would suggest you, Lena, to arrive the day before. At the same time, you can also enter 2 hours before the fair. If this is what you need to set up, then that's also fine.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
And there you go, Thomas.
Also, a big thank you for the webinar and that you have all answered my questions. I still have one question. Do you still need information regarding the signs with our company logo at the booth? We have uploaded everything via the homepage from Neureuter Media.
Yeah, so because we included it this year in the application, we most probably won't need it. But at the same time, since I was mentioning this on the timeline, that we're going to be working on the brochure and the materials, if there's any issue with the format, the file, whatever, right, then we're going to reach out to you directly. But by design, we made it in a way that we shouldn't be bothering with that, sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, well, I don't hear any more questions. So I wish you a very good weekend. I hope you have a good weather and enjoy. Well, and let's stay in touch. And again, like if you happen to post anything, and we really recommend that you're going to let the world know that you're coming. Tag us so that we can help you with the amplifying of the message. And we're going to be in touch with the placement soon. If you have if you have a desire to apply for Photonica or for Odessa Investor Summit, please indicate that in the form. And for the last day, we're going to get back to you in a week of 16. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend.
Guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.